Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be creating your self-portraits and then we're going to mix some paint to paint them in. I've already started here with an oval shape, kind of more of an egg shape though because our chins are narrower. That all you need to do is just start like you're going to draw an oval. And remember, I'm going to press hard here so you can see it, but you'll want to draw light till you get it right because you're going to probably want to erase the first one. I have a hard time making mine look exactly the same each time. This is bigger over here than this side, so I'm going to make that go in. But once you have it where you want it, then I want you to create two lines for your neck, and sometimes they kind of curve just slightly. They should be kind of narrow, but not so skinny that you have like a pencil neck. So just kind of come down along the sides and then drop down, do the same thing here and come down, because you want it to be strong enough to support your head. If you look in the little mirrors you would see that your neck has to be fairly wide to hold up your head. Shoulders, if your shoulders should be about as wide as your head. So if you take your fingers and you do this and then keep them that wide, drop them down to the edge of your neck, my shoulder should come all the way over here. So I'm just going to draw my shoulder as if it's going off the paper, okay? Same thing on this side. If I was to do it as wide as my head, your shoulders are about as wide as your head, so from here to here, my shoulder would actually reach out to right about here, okay? So we've got our basic head shape, we've got our neck, we've got our shoulders. Now, somewhere about halfway down your head, so looking at this size, this is about the halfway mark for me. That is where you're going to put your eyes, and your eyes are the shape of a football, or we call it an ellipse. So I'm just going to right around here put two football shapes, and it's kind of like an oval, but it comes to a point at the end, so it's just kind of like a curved line right here, and then you start at that same thing and do a curved line here, and it'll leave a sort of a point. All right, now that I'm looking kind of like an alien, let's go ahead and add the rest of our eyes. So if you look inside, if you've got your mirror in front of you and you're looking, you'll notice that inside your eyes you have a large circle and a smaller circle. The large one is the colored portion. That is your iris. So I'm going to make a large circle in here that touches the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to make a smaller circle. That's going to be the black pupil part of my eye. Okay. Then your eyelids, when your eyes are open, you can't really see them very much. They're just this little bit of skin that has, so I'm just going to do another curved line above that to show where my eyelid is. There we go. And I know I'm going to color that dot in later, so I'm just going to leave it for now. This one looks a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now, we've got our eyes, our eyelids, our pupils, and our irises. Now we need some eyebrows, and so that's just a curved line above your eyes. So go ahead and put in a curved line. And then your nose, there are lots of ways of making a nose. Let me show you a few. So you could do like a backwards letter J and put a little letter C and a backwards letter C. That's one way of making a nose. You could just do the underneath part of your nose with the letter C and the backwards letter C. There's many ways. You could just do this if you just want to do the backwards letter J. Okay, I kind of favor this one, so that's the one I'm going to do on mine. I'm going to start right between my eyebrows here, and I'm going to come down, and your nose should come down to about halfway. So figure out where your eyes, the bottom of your eyes and your chin, and divide that in half. So my nose should come down to about here. So I'm going to come down, and that's the tip of my nose, and then I'm going to put the two sides of my nose, which is kind of like a curved line, almost like a C, and then a backwards letter C. Okay, and if your nose comes out more, then when you make your J, you're going to make this come out more that way. I think mine tips out a little bit more, so I'm going to do that. Okay, now we're ready for our mouth, and your mouth is halfway. So I'm going to put a little line here. This is about halfway between the bottom of my nose and my chin. This is going to be where my lips meet, okay? And I want to be somewhat smiling, so I'm going to do a straight line, but then I'm going to tip it up at the corners because I want to be smiling. But the reason I did that is because I'm going to put my lips in here, and it's easier to do your lips on sort of a straight line. So my lips, and actually if you look in the mirror, all of you have Your lips are either like curved up, it's almost like a little mountain, or maybe two mountains. And I feel like mine is like a mountain with a little dip in the middle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a mountain and I'm going to dip right at the tip. I'm just going to dip it down. Almost like a volcano that's already exploded, right? All right, and then I'm going to do the bottom lips. It's just kind of a curved line below. Okay. Now, this is where we need to add our ears. So if you were to feel, draw a line from your eye, just take your finger and run your finger across. You should run into the tip of your ear right here. It's almost parallel with the corner of your eye. And the bottom of your ear is somewhere between your nose and your mouth. So if we were to draw a line over here, this is about where my ear is. And you don't see your whole ear when you look in the mirror. You can't, some of you can't see hardly any at all. Mine, I'm going to make this go a little bit closer. You can't see very much. You can only just see the edge of your ear. So now I'm going to go over here directly across from the corner of my eye. I'm going to come down and curve in just a little bit. This one looks longer, so I'm going to make it a little bit shorter because I want them to be about the same distance. Okay. Now, this is where we have to talk about hairstyles. Everybody's hair is different. And yours, you're going to have to just look in the mirror and see. Mine parts a little bit to the side and it's long, and so I'm just going to do a curved line and I'm going to come down like this. So I'm going to start here and curve down. And it does, rarely can you even see my ears if I have my hair down. So this part, we're going to end up erasing this. That's why I said draw a light till you get it right. I'm going to erase all of this lines here, but I'm going to come down this side too. And then for the top of my head, even boys, you're going to want to come above your scalp. So this is my scalp. I'm going to erase that line. I'm going to put hair over that. Okay. And then I'm going to do here and do some hair over this. And then I'm going to go back in, and like I said, I'm going to erase because you can't see my scalp through my hair. Okay. Boys, you have hair over your scalp, so you'll want to come out a little bit and just put in some hair. And if you notice in the mirror, boys, your hair comes down in front of your ears. So you'll want to start right in front of your ears when you do your hair to make sure that you're coming down far enough. Okay. I'm going to erase the top of this ear too. All right, this is where everybody looks different. You get to do whatever you want. I'm going to add some eyelashes to mine. You don't have to add them if you don't want to. Boys, you do have eyelashes, but you don't necessarily have to put them on here if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. Then think about things that make you unique and different and add those so that we can tell who it is, okay? Whatever kind of clothes you have on, go ahead and put the neckline in for your clothes. And then we're going to take a black oil pastel just on this face part here. And I want you to outline all of your pencil lines, because when we paint, this will you'll be able to see a little bit of this through the paint, because we're going to paint right over top of it to get our skin color in here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add all of these lines, the black oil pastel. Oops, I got off of those a little bit. It's okay. And we will probably have to put this line in again, but this, you can usually see a little bit of it through the paint, because tempera paint, it's hard to see through it, but we should be able to see through a little bit of it. Alright, I'm even going to go around my hair here, because I know I'm going to paint that in the correct color later, but this is just the outline of where I'm going to paint, so I know where to paint hair color and where to paint other things. I'm going to bring this down in front and erase this pencil, because my hair hangs over my shoulders. So I don't know, you wouldn't necessarily see my shoulders there. There. Okay, now we're ready to do some color mixing with our paint. Be sure to erase as best you can. I wrote really hard. Remember, I pressed hard so you guys could see. So I'm having a little trouble getting this pencil line out of here, but hopefully you did a light pencil and you can easily clean that up. All right, set that aside. Well, first of all, make sure your name and class code's on the back. Then set it aside. Okay, and then we're going to mix some paint. We're going to start with a lot of white, and I want you to just put a dot of yellow and a dot of red. Kind of mix that around till you have a nice peachy color. And if it's not dark enough, add more red and more yellow, because this is that's definitely not dark enough. I'm going to put more yellow. I got a lot of paint on this brush, and more red. getting closer. That's awfully pinky though. So the one thing that we're going to do at the end to take it from being a pinkish color is we're going to add a little bit of green. So I'm going to take a tab of green. The green will take that kind of pinkish color away, make it more skin toned. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I might add a little bit more. More yellow, more red. I'm actually more tan than I thought. And more green. Okay, that looks pretty good. Once you get a color that you think looks pretty close to you, mine actually looks like it should be even more red, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so looking at, I'm holding my skin over here so you can see, I'm trying to compare it to my skin color. You want to get it as close as you can to your skin color. If it's not dark enough, add more red and more yellow. That'll darken it, because it means you have too much of the white paint in there. You need to put more color. There. I think that's pretty close. Once you have the correct color and you feel good about it, then you're going to paint that right over. Ooh, wow, you can't see through that. I thought we'd be able to. I guess we'll just have to be careful, because I'm going to have to draw those lines in again. Alright, don't paint your eyes, because remember, those are going to be different color. I'll have to put in these black lines again. I thought we'd be able to see them a little bit through the paint. Maybe we need to use a little bit of water. I can see these lines through, but I can't see any of these. Oh, there. Maybe if I don't use quite so much paint, I can kind of just barely see it. Can you guys see it? Yeah, I can just see a hint of the lines, which is all we need, because when this is dry, I'm going to go back in with that black oil pastel and draw those in. Okay? Alright, once you're done with that, then you can start mixing the other colors you need. So like I need hair color here. Face. Okay. And then I also noticed that I didn't paint the background. I hope you will be sure and do that too. Okay. For the lips, if you're trying to do a lip color, your lips are a combination of red and brown. So if you put red on there, do it real light, and then add a little brown over top of it so that it doesn't get too dark. Okay, because you don't want to look like you have lipstick on. There we go. All right, have fun.